Hey MMA fans, Cage Minds, your host Micah Frankel, here doing another interview. We are glad to be joined by, for the second time in this Bellator 6th season, we are joined by Daniel Straus. Daniel, how you feeling this week?
Pretty good.
Thank you for being on. How is it feel fighting 4 weeks after you just fought? So that's what you're looking at kind of in this turnaround is a week to recover, 2 weeks to train, and then kind of the week to just feel that you're prepared?
Yeah, a little bit. I like to, as soon as I get back to the gym, I train all the way, until, I fly out. Like, and I just stay work, so, if it's 3 weeks, if it's 2 weeks, it's whatever time they give me, I have to make sure that I'm here. So, I think that's pretty good.
Okay, so moving on to talking about this week, what's your thoughts on your opponent, Mike Corey, in this upcoming fight?
Tough guy, another tough guy that's in front of me. A guy that definitely can be, look past. He pretty body made it very well. I don't know if that was his game plan, but whatever he was working. See that look like for no slouch to the ground, no slouch with his takedown. He can take a punch. I expect the best my boy to be there, and I'm pretty sure he'll deliver. So I just gotta, come with the best that I have.
Okay, and I've been wondering this about Bellator. Are you guys told ahead, like before, how the tournament's going to format, which way it can fall, or does it all of a sudden just you're told who you're going to fight each round?
It's just, we find out at the press conference. So when you all find out, we find out. After my last win against Jeremy Spoon, and we're sitting in the press conference, that's when they announced, who I would be fighting next. It was funny because I was sitting there, I'm joking with my Corey, and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, this guy's like this guy, we have to look at each other, like, well, now we go from, not that we're best friends or anything, it's just friendship that's already started fighting, so, we find out, myself.
Okay. I don't know if you have any feelings on this, but I just thought it was kind of interesting how the semifinals worked out. Sandro versus Bezeha, kind of mirror images of each other, and then you could say the same thing about you and Corey, the wrestling, the boxing, about the same kind of embracing the grind, pushing the pressure kind of pace. You have any thoughts on the way those matchups worked out?
Actually, when they immediately, when they announced it, I was kind of happy because, that's like the thing is, I'm fighting guys just like me on the other side of the fight because two guys that have the same type style, So, it eliminates, after this semi-obvious, it eliminated two guys, it just breaks down all the stuff. So, with me just having to go in there and win, I just focus on this fight, and then, after that, what I have to do. I do like how it ends up breaking down.
Right. So excited. Can't wait for that fight. For my 2 cents, I think that it comes down to the power that you have in the left hand And I think you put together the combinations with the leg kicks slightly better than Corey, with both of your wrestling and top games being really, really close to call. I'd say the defining factor is going to be on the feet, really, and I think that ability that you have. Would you say you feel kind of the same way, or?
Yeah, I give him the edge on, with a lot of my opponents. I give him the edge in jiu-jitsu. He has very good jiu-jitsu. I feel I have decent jiu-jitsu myself, but I feel like I need someone to hit him that. I would definitely give us even on the wrestling and on the hands, man. And standing up, I just think I'm a little bit quicker. And in my opinion, I just want to play. So, I think that's going to be the deciding factor. So, he getting in his face, pushing his pace, hitting him, getting him down. That willpower play.
All right. So the original reason I asked you if you wanted to do another interview was just after we heard the Alistair Overeem news. So wanted to get your thoughts on all of the PED, TRT kind of stuff going on in the sport. And as a fighter, how do you feel hearing these other fighters getting, popped for all these steroids and all these other things, and there's guys like you out there working hard, doing the right things?
I can't speak for anybody else but myself, you know what I mean? I've never used a drug that's a performance enhancement drug. I wasn't even know where to go to get one. So, it's weird for me. I've never fought someone that has tested positive. I can't say that I fought it. I had it because I don't know. But, I just feel like if that's what you have to do is win, go down with it, or go to a different sport. I just don't think I don't feel like it has a place in this sport. We go in here, we train our butts off, we train for a while, get in there and fight. I feel like everyone has the same standard. If you didn't pick up your record technique in the last 6 weeks, you can't punch as hard as the next guy in the next 6 weeks. That's your fault. I just don't feel like drugs.
And then the potential of possibly, stepping in the cage with someone that may be on. Do you have any, in the back of your head kind of concerns about that? Worrying about, possibly what the other guy could stoop to? Probably not at the moment you're in there, but is it ever in the back of your head?
Honestly, I've never really thought about it. I go in there with one mentality, and I don't care. Rocking the biggest arms I've ever seen. Type of drug, whatever. My mentality is still the same. I get in there and look normal. After the fight, another one. That might be my big thing. As far as time, it's just hard work. That's what I'm trying to put in. And I feel like everybody else is feeling the same way. I don't know if they do or don't. Yeah, from getting in that fight, I really don't think about it at all. I guess because I've never had it this season. Somebody that I think it's possible that has I guess it's going back on this.
All right. Also, while I was on Twitter that day when the news broke, there were several other reporters and people speculating, saying, well, that they could expect 80 to 90% of mixed martial artists and some professional sports athletes, they would say that high a rate for, being dirty, for taking performance enhancers. As a pro athlete, does that number shock you? Because as a fan, as a reporter, it just kind of disgusted me to hear someone even put out such a high number that they think 80 to 90% of people could be cheating.
Yeah, it really does. I
Right? It would be just heartbreaking, devastating to hear that many people are cheating. I know everyone's about getting ahead and winning, but that would just be such a horrendous thought. So, in that essence of people cheating and, taking shortcuts, the mixed martial artist way, there's the honor, the respect, how, you see in like the Karate Kid movies and all that stuff, but how it's a basic fundament of martial arts. Do you feel that mixed martial arts and the mainstreaming of it kind of is losing that mentality and that aspect of it?
Here and there, yeah. A lot of guys, people first start fighting with, see who's the best at it. And now, yeah, we still have that, but it was the same and it's now big. Once it becomes a business, there's paychecks involved. And once paychecks involved, it's, people's mentality starts to change. You know what I mean? Instead of being, I want to be the number one, which I had to do, then I just want to make a whole bunch of money before I had to stop. And that does change. It does change the aspect of the fight. Now you just have guys going in there because, being technical, being, control and poise. They're trying to knock your head off. They're trying to get that extra bonus. That win for something like that. And that may not be what that fighter is at all. That changes the whole scenario of the fight. You know what I mean? I think nowadays it's quite different. It really is quite different from how it was. Even 20, 50, 40 years ago. So, I don't think it'll ever get back to how it was. There's so much, media and, business side, UFC, Bellator, actually, we have so many, vices that put into the game now. So it just doesn't work out how it
Right? Well, then I had another topic I wanted to get to now that we got out of all that stuff. I had a couple of thoughts that I wanted to know about because not being a fighter, not being in the back, how do the rules get explained to you guys when it's back there? Because I've had a couple of thoughts, like when they explain like low blows to you guys and grabbing the cage, is it explained as like immediately it'll be penalized, or how does that stuff come when they explain it to you guys in the back?
every fight there's a rule. They let you know, guys that's been fighting, for a while have learned the rules, 100 times over. And that's why I can never understand why people don't get it, involved with each other and learn it. But, they get us in a group, they get all the fighters, they tell you the rules, and, each
So you would say the refs do individually, at least, when they do explain how they're going to judge it, though, to a good? Because when I see, like, different, from the how many times you're allowed to hold the cage to how many low blows you're around, kind of, I just wonder when I'm thinking about it if the fighter already knows I have, this is the way they're going to judge it, if I have this much leniency, or if they're kind of, I know it's all happening in the heat of the moment, but if they know how the ref is going to kind of judge it during the fight.
For the most part, even though I say I know how to judge or how the ref is going to score different things, I still don't really know. You know what I mean? He can tell me all day that, it's helpful to give me 3 warnings, but if I do it one time, he might take me one front and I didn't know. You know what I mean? So you never really did it. Just as much as you don't want to leave a fight in the judge's hands, you don't want to leave a fight in the ref. You know what I mean? So you never want to go in there and commit a foul that could cost you the fight, could cost you a point, that would cost you a fight. So, I try to stay away from that. So, I've never done anything just an opponent as far as the low blow or anything like that. I don't believe anyone has to be so. Just being in there and he's supposed to do so it's much crazy. And that's what it is.
I was just wondering if there's any more structure or craziness. I could live with it. I just needed to ask somebody that's been back there in that scenario first, kind of what their take on it was. Make sure I'm, in tune to what I'm watching. Next thing I wondered about, this was just another crazy thought as I was talking with people about mixed martial arts rules. If you're kind of in a front headlock position and the person that's in that headlock drops their hand down so that they can't be kneed in the head, they're a grounded opponent. Is that sort of thing counted as a takedown? Do you think it should be counted as a takedown?
In my eyes, I don't see it as a takedown. I don't see it as a guy being rewarded for a takedown. Now, if he snatches you down, spins around you, and gets your back, yeah, that's a takedown. But, even though I'm doing it, I gotta protect myself. That's the thing. Yeah, I have to protect myself. I pick up my headlock. I don't want to get blasted by the knee. I can put his hands underneath it. I think it's a fair rule. I wish we could knee to the head and stuff like that. If we could, that would take that rule away. It wouldn't matter if your hand or knee or foot or whatever was on that. It would be blasted regardless. As far as it being in the rule book, I feel like it's a fair rule. I feel like if judges see that as a takedown, in my opinion, they need to go back and eliminate
Right, it was just a question we had thrown out there. Just because the person is counted as a grounded opponent, it was just an argumentable question that someone came up with, and I was like, that's a pretty good point. And then for another good point I had been in a conversation about was traditionally jiu-jitsu, wrestling, judo, these all take place on mats. We've seen that a ring is really horrible for mixed martial arts. I've seen in some kickboxing bouts where they have extremely large surface rings where they seem to be even 2 to 3 times the size of a Bellator cage, but without a cage. Would you ever be interested to see mixed martial arts combated like in that kind of a circumstance without the cage, but just like a giant like a giant area around it? Would that be?
No, because I think it takes away from it. You know what I mean? Just being inside that cage gives you a certain type of feeling. Even when it comes to fight, being up against the cage and using the cage against your opponent, using your takedowns off the cage, doing defense off the cage, even winning fights, I think fights won off the cage. You know what I mean? So
Cool. Just some crazy ideas want to throw out there, see how a professional fighter would react to them. Thanks for the insight. So again, everyone needs to make sure that they watch Bellator this weekend and support Daniel Straus versus Mike Corey. We hope to see you in the finals versus Marlon Sandro. Give you some time. Want to shout out to anybody, your sponsors, anything?
Yeah, man. I just want to thank. I want to thank all my friends, all the fans, and all my family. I would like to thank Vision MMA, American Top Team, for helping me out. ML Medical Group, Brian Burke, all my sponsors, Contract Killer, Believe, all those guys. And I want to thank you all for having me. And I also want to thank, we had guys who do the Christmas match. And we're having a, we're doing a fundraiser on fundraise.com, FUNDLY.com. It's called Christmas. We're trying to raise money for the funeral and everything, stuff like that. So if you guys can please check it out. Help support us. Help support his legacy. Help support it. Really appreciate it. Other than that, say thank you. I appreciate the time.
Thank you for coming on the show. Again, best of luck this Friday. This has been Cage Minds. Uncage the Word in yourself. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Follow Daniel Straus on Twitter. Have a good night. Thanks.